Hey everybody, so this is the first of our series for a homage to history. I'm actually here at St. Matthew's Lutheran Church Cemetery. I am here, my dad's sister and her husband Ernest, and I'll show you all the grave markers. That's actually by far the cleanest. I just want to do a quick rough cleaning over it. And then my grandmother Eva Miller is buried here right behind them, and then her father, which is my great-grandfather, Irwin Brown. He was really an extraordinary guy. And then his wife, Carrie. And I'm going to clean their stone, Eva's stone, and then I'm actually going to work on their son, or Eva's brother, Howard A. Brown. I'm going to clean his stone as well, and then do a little bit of touch-up. So I'm going to turn this around, and I'm going to take pictures of so you can see before and then the afters. Anyways, I'll then have pictures up of the stones and then tell the stories of those individuals as much as I know. So here's my Aunt Ruth and her husband Ernest. He died in 1984 of a heart attack. But this is their stone. There's a little bit on the top, the organic, and then a little bit on Ruth's that I'll clean up. Howard Brown, that was Ruth's mother, Eva's brother. That one, there's a little bit of cleanup that needs to be done there. And then Eva, that was my grandmother. I never met her. I'll tell the story about her. My dad absolutely adored his mom. She was everything to him. And then her parents, my dad's grandpa, Irwin Brown, he's the one that taught my dad honeybee keeping, and told my dad, he's like, you're really lucky that you have a woman like that, like my mom. He said, you better not mess this up or I'm going to make you regret it. But I'm going to clean these stones. I'm going to take a picture just quick of all of them, have the before, and then we'll have the after. So I also want to show you, this is my dad. He was a long-range rifle shooter back in the 60s, and that's the canvas seat that he had. So I'm going to be using that. It actually has, let me show you this, the connection to my dad. It says P.L. Miller, it's Paul Leonard Miller. That's my equipment. I have the pump full of water. I got distilled water. I think that's a little safer, plus a little bit of water I'm going to throw in the bucket that I'm going to use with my brushes. I have my spray. I also want to note here, there is a marker for Ernest because he served in World War II in the Army. And that I'm not touching because I believe those are bronze. And I don't want to do damage or discoloration. So until I know what I'm doing, I'm not touching it. But he was a Tech 5 U.S. Army. And then they have the bronze markers that they have there. But yeah, that was Uncle Ernest. So let's get going. Hey, so I figured I got time to waste. I'll turn it around and show you guys this. I got the water sprayed down. They say you can never use too much water. I'll wind out scraping off the lichen that I can. Stuff's potent. But you're supposed to let it wait for at least a couple minutes. This thing says 60 seconds, but I'm going to give it longer than that. And then I can start scrubbing. And then how this works is over time, it'll actually kill all the organic matter and the stone will clear up a lot more. With these stones, these are all granite stones. So it's not going to be like the marble ones that you see from earlier days where you go from like dark black to white again. And you get to see the veining in the marble and stuff like that. But I'll flip this around and show you guys this. So this is the before. There's a little staining above her name, and there was a bunch of lichen on the right side and all over the stone. Not really that bad, but it needed to clean up and look really, really good once it was done. So Eva, she was the daughter of Irwin and Carrie Brown. She would marry my grandfather, Milton Miller. They stayed together for quite a long time and then ultimately wound out splitting. She would wind out getting a brain tumor, and that would be ultimately what would take her life in 1975, I believe it was.
I never got to meet her. I was born in 1979. My sister never got to meet her. She doted on my sisters Donna and Sandra quite a bit, and they absolutely adored her. My dad, she was his whole world. Like her and Ruth, his sister, he really, really loved them. And they found out that they were pregnant with Debbie when Eva was in a coma, and she wasn't speaking anymore. And my mom told her, "Hey, we're pregnant with a girl," and that brought her out of it for a couple seconds. And Eva said very clearly, "Congratulations," and then went back in and never spoke again. But that always stuck with them, and she was just an amazing woman that I wish I could have met her. Mom said, yeah, she would have actually absolutely spoiled Debbie and I, and would have absolutely adored us just like her mom. So that is a little bit of Eva's story.
So as you can see, it's all wet. You got the lichen here that I'll wind out scraping off. I have a little plastic buddy that goes in here. See how easy that comes off. I gotta get a couple more brushes to do this up and get in these things a little bit better. I will wind up getting this better when I have my film camera. I'm just this is me testing it out, getting used to doing all this, because the footage may be a little funky here because this is new. So any input would be gladly received. This is not a wire brush. It is a regular brush. Granted, it's not gonna. It's just basically having something that can get this lichen off, because I can't get the scraper in there terribly well. And then when I go in with the brush, then I'll go and take care of that. Here, we'll wind up with my water here. And you can just see how much cleaner that is, the flowers. It's not having gone over with like a regular brush yet. Get this pumped up a little bit more. And like I said, this is an experience as well. Okay, could you just go in there, water thinger? Nope, that's the wrong way. There you go. Apparently we don't have... They've released all the water. Like I said, this first one's going to be sort of ugly because the video, because... Oh, why do you not want to go in there? Go in! Thank you. I need to get like a toothbrush type thingy. It's a lot better. And I haven't even started using the scrub brush here yet. Some of the blacking there, but like I said, over time this will wind out. And then it'll get some of that stuff, because it'll get into the stone and it'll wind out cleaning this up and lighten the stone back to what it originally looked like, and hopefully kill whatever's remaining in there. But it's a process, and it's just a matter of, like I said, it's a matter of figuring it out. So here is the after of my grandmother Eva's. There's still a little bit of staining on there, but that'll this stuff will wind out cleaning that off and killing it the rest of the way, because there's still a few spots here that I wasn't able to quite get all the lichen, but because on this side there's a little bit yet there, but I only want to scrub on the stone so much. But it looks relatively nice. That blackening will fade away as well, but I'm happy with the first stone. It's not like, it wasn't terribly dirty or anything like that, but I got all the lichen off, and it definitely looks a lot cleaner.
So here's a slightly better, after it had dried, final look. There's a little bit like in the E and then the 22nd and some of those areas where it's still a little wet yet, but it really turned out great.
So the next stone we're going to do, we're actually going to do my Uncle Ernest and my Aunt Ruth. You can see the difference there. It's nuts with just it drying off. I mean, there's still some stuff on there, but that'll die off and be gone over time. Because I'll probably come back and maybe do another when I switch over to the D2 and then spray it down so it kills all the organic material. But this one's actually the cleanest out of the 4 stones. I may wind out only doing this one yet because I'm getting sort of tired because it's still where I'm at. Anyways, there's a little bit of lichen here on this, some stuff on Ruth's side. Pretty simple compared to the mom's. I'm just gonna go over every edge and crevice and get this cleaned up and then sprayed down. And then if I do another one, I'll do Howard's. I really don't know much about him other than he was Eva's brother, the son of Irwin Brown, my great-grandfather. But we'll get to work here and go from there.
So here we have my Uncle Ernest Harris and my Aunt Ruth Harris. Uncle Ernest, he was a incredibly large guy, like jolly green giant type of guy. I really have very few memories of him because I would have only been 4 when he passed. But I remember he was just, my sisters, Donna and Sandra, just absolutely adored him. And he was just such a happy guy, nice guy. He served his country in the Army and served throughout that war. He's sort of the character from my Boys of the Fallen Sun and Risen Moon book. The character of Ernest is based off of him, of his personality, who he was. But he had a massive heart attack. It absolutely devastated my aunt. They were not able to have children, and he was her world. Now my Aunt Ruth, she was a phenomenal lady. She's just my dad's sister. He absolutely adored her, just like his mom. She actually served. She worked at the Pine Grove High School, I believe, for it might have been like 40 years. She was an admin or a secretary. She also served at St. Matthew's Lutheran Church. She was the organist for at least 60 years. But she loved birds. She absolutely loved music boxes. That was like her favorite thing. She was very gifted musically. And I remember one year I got her a bunch of music boxes and she was so thrilled with that. And I used to just love to come over to her house, listen to all the music boxes, sit on her little porch. And she had the bird feeders and stuff like that. It was just the sounds of the chimes at her house. She had like 3 or 4 chimes on this little porch. And those were such amazing memories for me. But Uncle Ernest and Aunt Ruth are together again, but really beautiful people. And this is the after picture. There wasn't a whole lot wrong with the stone, but it had a little bit of lichen. On the one side, there was quite a bit, but it cleaned up really, really nice. I have to confess, I really don't know much about Howard, Eva's brother. I will wind out doing some more research when I go back to do Eva and Howard's mother and dad, Irwin and Carrie Brown. I'll have a little bit more information on them because I just don't have a whole lot. But this is the before. This is then the after, and this was the 3rd stone that I cleaned, and I just sort of ran out of energy at that stage. So I will have more information on Howard in a future upcoming video. So this is my great-grandfather, Irwin F. Brown and my great-grandmother, Carrie L. Brown. She died in 1941. He would live to 1971. He was a really, really neat guy. Told a lot of great stories, was very, very much into honeybees. Taught my dad how to raise honeybees and all that, and that was a big part of my dad's life. He also was, I think, probably my dad's hero from the way he talked. He just absolutely loved his grandfather. And Irwin spent a lot of time with him. In fact, like, I'll have pictures of him then in the next video when I clean their stone. He would come over. He loved my mom, and he was the one that made the statement, "You really did well. You need to not mess this up. She is an amazing lady and stunningly beautiful. Absolutely treated mom like a princess." Here's why. So as you can see, my mom was a bit of a looker, but she was just such a special and sweet lady, and Irwin just absolutely fell in love with her. And my mom has such great memories of him, and how, he just was like, "Paul, you're out of your league. I don't know how this happened, but you better not mess it up." It's just some cool stories of my great grandfather, and this is part of my history.
Hey everybody, so we're gonna go check out these 3 stones. 3 of the 4 I got done. I just sort of have reached my point where I'm just getting tired. It's only 70 something, but there's just enough of a humidity in the air that it's a little more than I feel good with. I got the 3 smaller stones done. I'm going to show you there is a pretty nice difference. I'll probably, when I come back and do my great grandfather Irwin and Carrie Brown stone, I'll probably do a quick spray down of all 3 stones that I did over the areas that are a little blackened, and then hopefully they'll do the rest of their work. But I think the stones look pretty darn good. I'm very happy with the end results of all of them. Like I said, I'm going to go do So here is the end results for these 3. That is my Aunt Ruth and Uncle Ernest, great Uncle Howard. You can see how much cleaner that is. There's still some darkened areas, but hopefully it'll wind out over time. This will eat away and get rid of the rest. And of course, Eva, my grandmother. I am not going to attempt to do this one today. I'm just getting too tired. It's like 70 something, so it's nice, but it's just enough to sort of beat me down. But I'll come back and I'll get that one, and I will tell you what I know. I really don't know anything about Howard other than he's my great uncle. Tell you a little more in regards to Ruth and Ernest, and then Eva, my grandmother. So yeah, very, very nice. Cool how this has turned out. All right, we'll see you guys in a bit.
So once again, these are the before and afters. I have a couple of these throughout the video. It's just a really neat thing, and I just want to say thanks for coming along, and we'll see you on the next adventure. History is out there, my friends.